Hi, I'm Johan, an avid consumer of YouTube, and this is my, let's say, second video. I did the video when I was like 8, and because I decided to give back to YouTube, and yeah, I love YouTube, so I decided I need to make video. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this picture, and at the same time, I'm going to talk about, I discovered I have ADHD, and what are the, like, I discovered it very recently, and what are the tips, what are the thing I did all my life without realizing it to fight it. So I'm doing this video first because I like painting, and second of all because I feel like there is a lot of things I would have learned younger, and that some people could take advantage of this knowledge and experience. So I'm going to try to do an half an hour video. If I haven't finished my painting in half an hour, I'll just continue in another time. So first, something I want to paint the base of my painting before starting talking about ADHD. So the truth is I'm more used to painting with real paint, with like brush and things, but I figured out it would be easier to first to do it on a digital painting. So the problem is I barely, almost never do digital painting. So I will start by saying that do not expect something incredible. This is a learning. Basically, let's say it's my first time doing this, but I'm gonna do my best, and I guess the goal is to learn how to do a video and to learn how to do a digital painting. I'm looking for something. Okay, this is what I was looking for. I was looking for something to like. Where is my? Oh, it's here. I was looking for something to cover a lot of space. Can I make it bigger? I just want to cover all of this. Then we'll see. Okay. And then now I'm going to do. Okay. So I'm choosing my color like this because actually it's the second time I tried to do this video, and there was something I really struggled with, which was choosing the colors. Like I think I'm pretty okay. I'm choosing colors where painting for real, but for some reason here, it's like I couldn't choose the color I wanted. I think I went a bit too high with that, but so let me. Okay, then the second line here. Okay, so I think I'm going to start talking about ADHD. So since I'm very young, since I'm a little kid, I always felt like there was something either wrong or different with me compared to the other kids. And actually the first reason I felt like this because adults were make me feeling like this. Like it was very dumb, like for example I couldn't color. So for example if I had to color something, I would always pass through the like this, like go beyond the lines I wasn't supposed to color, and it was like I was always rushing things or always like I was not caring. But for some reason I was good at drawing. Like I couldn't follow the instruction of coloring thing, but I could like draw something by myself. And so I did were bugged. Like why are you not making any effort or something? And then so I'm French, and it took me years. Actually, maybe it never happened, but I'm very bad at grammar and orthograph, and it was like an uphill fight for 15 years of my life, something like this. And it was always like, why do you do so many mistakes? Why can't you just write like everybody else? And like my mom would make me do grammar and exercise every weekend when I was a kid, and like I would feel her getting discouraged, like why does this kid can learn how to, like I know he's not too dumb, why can't he learn how to fucking write? And then so this is what people will tell me, and then inside me it was more like life was way too it felt like life was super difficult and was life was too hard for me. It's like I was afraid. I remember being 4 or 5 years old and looking myself into the mirror and thinking, who thought it was a good idea to give me the responsibility of a human being? Like, no, I don't. Let me alone. Let me just sleep. I don't want to have anything to do with that shit. And yeah, and this was the case for a lot of years, and I guess I got some things figured out with years and with decade passings. And yeah, and the way I decided to get diagnostic is because right now I have roommates. I have two roommates, and one of them is in his 50s, and he has been a teacher, and he has worked with children with ADHD. And he basically told me that I have a lot of symptoms that this ADHD child had. And the other thing is because there is a lot of little rules with the place I live, but it's simple rules. It's like if you use the kitchen, you leave it as if nobody had ever used it. There is a key holder. Every time you're in the house, you have to put your keys on the key holder so that we know who is here and if someone lost his keys. If you take a shower, always close the shower curtain so that it dry, that type of things. And for most people, it takes like 2 weeks to learn all these rules. Me, it took me 2 months. And he said I was worse, like my roommate said, I was worse than people that were actually diagnosed with ADHD. And so at this point, I thought, yeah, maybe I should get diagnosed. So what I did is that I live in New York. Oh, also basically this picture here is a picture of is in Central Park. I took it Central Park North, just under 1/10, because I lived here for like a year. I've been living in New York for 2 years, and I lived at 1/10 for a year and a half. No, I'm like on one like higher in Harlem. And so it's really a place that is really fun to my heart. Like it's even if I want to live in New York, I love nature, and for me, it's very important that there is nature close to me so that I can just unload. It's like, and so yeah, this is why I'm painting this, because I really like this part of the city. Wait, I'm looking at. I have to remember what it looks like. Maybe I'm going to pull up a little picture next to it. So yeah, that's how I decided to get diagnosed for ADHD. And so I took an appointment. I found a psychologist in NYC. Took an appointment, and then got there, and basically he asked me a lot of questions like, oh, how was your childhood? How was, like, what was your family situation? This type of things. And the thing is, sometimes I get carried away when I talk, and basically didn't have a lot of time. He didn't have the time to ask me a lot of ADHD specific questions. But I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a big health insurance. So I was like, I just need a diagnostic. And so basically at the end of the session, he told me I didn't have a lot of time to give you like specified questions, but from what you say, it feels like there is a very high chance you do have ADHD. And then the day after, I learned that he actually, like, for some reason my health insurance was like didn't want to pay, I don't know. And so I was like, and also I learned this consultation are like $400 per sessions, and I was like, fuck, I can't take another appointment with him. I wanted to do it to make sure, but I can't. So here I am. And so yes, what I did is I instead, so, but because this guy told me it was a high chance I had ADHD, I was like, I mean, let's go with that. Because I also bought a book called Scattered Minds from Mate something. So I should have learned the name first. And okay, wait, I'm gonna take the color here. So yeah, I bought this book, and so the first part of the book describes a lot what it is to be a child with ADHD, and this guy basically described my childhood, and so I was like, fuck. And also I went on YouTube, Google, and asked what was the tip for ADHD people, and I discovered that a lot of these things are actually things that I put in place with the years to cope with it and basically be a functioning human being despite it. And I saw that it's a thing that I would have loved to learn or to be taught when I was younger, because it took me years to understand and find out these things. And maybe my life would have been way easier. Maybe it would have been less suffering, and maybe less triggers, maybe better grades, maybe whatever, if I had discovered it before. And so that's the reason why I'm doing this video. I started at, okay. Now I'm watching the time, like I don't want to take too much time. So now that I told the context, I guess I'll start with, now I'll start speaking about, so what actually did I do to fight it during all these years. The first thing I will start saying, which I guess is very important, and is the case for any health condition, I guess, is that you have to live a healthy life, or at least you have to do your best to live a healthy life. I know it sounds boring. I know it's not what a lot of people want to hear, but basically, get your at least 7 hours of sleep. Eat healthy, drink water, and do sport. And it's like, I think it's forcing that basically if you succeed to nail down this thing, life will get way easier. Like it's like habits you have to do. And also it's things that I feel like for this thing it's better to act on your environment. It's like you have to the less strength possible on yourself. So for example, if you want to eat healthy, just do not buy like sweet things, do not buy cakes. It's like, it's way easier to not buy than to buy and being like, oh, I'm just going to eat one a week, and then you have to control yourself your the whole week. No, you just don't buy that ice cream, so that it's not in your fridge. But instead you can buy things you like, but just, if you buy it in small quantities. So it's not like you have a whole fucking, like, I don't know, like it's like you could feed an army with ice cream. Don't do that. So then what I would advise is meditation. So once again, I'm sure a lot of people, I know I'm repeating what people say, but what I discovered is that sometimes you will resonate with an advice, not really because of the advice, but because of who said it. I'm not saying like I have a great charisma or something, but more like I do this video for the little me. So someone that maybe relate more to my experience, or the way I talk, I say it. And so I know this advice you can find it on internet. It's more, the form change, and I hope this form of content and the way I'm giving those advice will convince some people and maybe make someone's life a bit easier. And so, yeah, so do meditation. And so basically, I think why meditation is important and why I will advise it is because I guess this is an ADHD symptom, but you have to get your mind under control. It's not, the word under control is not really the good term. It's more, you have to calm your mind. It's like you shouldn't be the slave of your internal struggles, like this little voice and the frenetic movement, the frenetic emotions that like harass you all day shouldn't be your master. And so meditation is a great way, is a very good way to fight it. Because basically what you do is you sit down, you close your eyes, or maybe not. Maybe you can actually, you don't you can even do it walking, but you focus on the feeling. So what often people advise, and I really like it, is to focus on your breath. And so I think the more pinpointed it is, the better. So you say, for example, I focus on my nostrils, like what do I feel in my nostrils when I inhale and when I exhale, and you just focus on that feeling. And when your mind go away and you notice it, you just say, okay, you acknowledge it, you let it go, and you don't stress about it. You just, like, the way to get your mind calm is not to beat yourself over it. It's just to, you accept that the little voice in your head is not you, and you observe it and you make peace with it. It's like a friend, it's like someone that is around, but you don't have to always listen to it, and you don't have to be judgmental about it. It's like with your best friend, it's like you give him advice, you talk with him, sometimes he do mistakes, sometimes he doesn't act nice, sometimes you think he's not right, but it's your friend, and you just acknowledge him as he is, you forgive him if he hurts you, and you move on. That's it. And you do the same thing with the little voice in your mind and with your feelings. So as I say, you focus on your breath, you focus on what you feel, and then you do that for as long as needed. I'd like to have more. These colors aren't bright enough in my taste, and I'm wondering why it's bright for them and not bright for me. Like, what make it bright? This color here make it bright. Maybe it's a little touch here. I think that's it. Okay, so let's do this. Yeah, sorry, I went a bit off subject. I'm painting at the same time. I think it's been 15 minutes. And yeah, so you just accept your feeling, and you refocus on your breath. If this is too hard, what you can do is you don't focus on your breath still, you just basically you become an outside observer of your mind. It's not like, oh, I have to focus on this. So that's the first step. You let your mind go, you sit somewhere, you close your eyes, you let your mind wander, but every time you change of subject in your mind, you try to notice it. It's like, oh, I'm thinking about this now. Oh, I'm thinking about this now. If you think a long time about one subject, you notice it too. Oh, it's been a long time I've been thinking about this. And then you go back to your wandering. And you just want to get to the habit of basically being an observer. Okay, now let's get a color that will bring light. I want a color that will bring light. Like something like once the color is like, oh, okay, can I push it a bit, something like that? Okay, I was thinking once I click on the color, it's like it doesn't feel as light as it was on the photos. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is it? Why doesn't it feel like I just saw? Like, but I think it's because it's a combination of colors and done that. So I'm a beginner with this thing, so I'm not going over complicated with it. I'm just saying, okay, what can I do? What will be? I'm learning at the same time I am painting it, and it's basically what what you have to do when you're fighting your ADHD. You go with the flow. It's more you decide of a goal, you decide of a direction, but you don't force it in the straight line. You just somewhat navigate through the flow of life and emotion, and you keep your destination in sight, and maybe slowly but surely you'll arrive there. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is not what I was expecting, but so what does it look here? Yeah, okay, you see. I guess we'll go over it after. Where is my okay? See, we'll solve some. I'll have to change to add some things here, but it's okay. Okay, let's do the other side now. Let's do this here. So yeah, that's why I think meditation is very great and is very important. And you do it. I would advise to do it once a day. And once again, if you want to do it once a day and for some reason you miss it, don't beat yourself over it. Like me too. I meditated yesterday, but there is days you will not. So yeah, I want to do that part. Oh, my thing does a strange noise here. Why does it make this noise? Okay. So yeah, and then what comes after meditation? This is the way I did it. But then what came with after meditation is yoga. So it goes with sport. As I said, you have to do sport, and I think every sport is great. But I think the advantage, I also like martial arts. Like I did some boxing and I did MMA, and this is very great. I think it gets the aggression out of you, and then when I go after I went training MMA, it's like my head is empty. I'm just here sore. But I feel like yoga is its own animal in itself, because it was actually designed to prepare. Like I do a lot of vinyasa yoga. It's like very strong yoga in terms of it's very in strength. So of course you have to put yourself sometimes some strength position where you need flexibility, but it's very strength oriented. And so I don't like the noise my tablet does. It gets on my nerves. And so basically I like it when it's very, very hard. Like when you stay in downward dogs very long time. Downward dogs is like, I guess go look for it on the internet. When you stay in downward dog a very long time, when planche a long time, when a very I'll say a very strong position for a long time, because what I learned is that the pain you feel is a guide toward calm. Because at first you're like in your head, you're like, fuck, it's so hard, why do I suffer so much? Why do I have to go through this pain? But then basically what happens is that, okay, so that's a friend of mine. Maybe I have to hide his name, I don't know. Basically what happened is that the path of least resistance, so the path where the pain will be the most tolerable, will be by focusing on your breath. Because if you're here in your head like, oh, it's so hard, like when does it stop, you drift into the future. It's like you're not in the present moment. And the thing is, the way you feel pain, the suffering you feel, depend a lot on your mental state. So basically in medicine and in hospitals, they know that depending depending what pain, like for example, you get a teeth out, the pain you will receive, you will feel, will depend a lot of how anxious you are about receiving it. It's like when you know the doctor is going to like take your blood or something, and and before and before you know you even get before you even feel the pain, you're already in pain. It's like you're already suffering. That's because your brain is like, it's like your brain is convinced you're already being hurt, and that's bad because the pain you feel is actually greater than what you should have felt. And yes, to fight it, when you do the yoga, sorry, it's like I'm focusing on what I'm painting and then I can't I can't talk normally anymore. So yes, when you do a very hard yoga, it's like it makes you rest center on your breath. So at first you don't feel like it's doing on purpose. It will take time before you understand what happens. But then once you finished, you'll figure, you will be like, oh my, it's very calm inside right now. Like you it's like how quiet. It's been a long time. My mind haven't been so quiet, and this is what you're looking for. Okay, so I put. It's not exactly. I went a bit sideways. Let me do something here. That's not what I should have done, but it's okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take that back and here. Okay, this here I'm going to oh no, I'm going to take a lighter color on this one. A friend sent me a message. I hope it'll be okay. I'll try to blur it. I'll see if I can blur it. Maybe he doesn't want to get to have his name on the video. So yeah, once you finish the yoga, your mind will be way calmer. Well, it was the case for me, and it's actually a good preparation to meditate after. Like it's very good to do that and then meditate, and it's like your meditation will be even more powerful. Another tip I would have is to do monotasking. So because you have to get your brain used to just do one thing at a time. And I know it's a bit not a hypocrite, but I'm doing two things at the same time now because I feel like I'm doing an exception because it's the best way to do that. I don't want to like go over, but basically, if you do two things at the same time, it's not like you take twice the time. It's like you take free time. You take it's not like you add how much time it will have to. It's like you take way more time, and the quality of your work just go drastically down, which is something you don't want. Okay, maybe that's how I was like thinking about how I should do the. Okay, so let's say it's good for this. I think one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to end the video soon. So I guess I'll finish this painting in another video. But yeah, you have to monotask because you're way more efficient. Monotasking is way better to do mono trading. So basically, you start a task, you finish it, you go to the next one. You don't like try to do everything at once. And I think it's a bad idea to be like, this is how I want to work, and then for all your free time, all the rest of your time, you don't do that. You just like float around. You're like, I don't know, like you're eating and watching a video. I know people will hate me for saying this, but I think it's better to just focus on your food than watching some videos. Maybe like talking is great with a friend, it's like a social event, but I feel like focusing, if you're eating, focusing on your food is better. And so basically you want to try as much to do monothreading in everything you do, so that your brain is used to it, and basically it's like you slay the task you have to do, you slay them. And the last thing I would like say, and it's something I learned very recently, is that, and maybe you will get some protection. A lot of the actually, wait. So let me say this first. I think you need a goal. It's not like you see Naruto or like Luffy is like I want to become the king of the pirates. I'm not saying you have to have that big of goal, but basically you need to have a direction, and you need every day, so that every day you think, okay, how do I do to get closer to this goal? And it's by actually pursuing this goal that you will learn things and you will grow. And it's through the pain of pursuing this. If you feel pain while doing this thing, be happy, be happy about it and rejoice, because this means you're going forward. And it doesn't mean like, it's not like beat yourself over the goal. It's not like, oh my god, I'm being stressed about it. Like, the beauty of it is in the action. It's not even like, go for it, try to do your best to reach it, but the most important is to act, and to be, it's while acting and in the pain of acting that you'll be beautiful, because you'll be graceful, and that you're going to grow. And this is what you want. This is the goal. This is the ultimate goal, because once you go, your view of life will change, will evolve, and it's like keep life interesting. And the last thing I wanted to do, maybe the second last thing, I already said it was the last thing, is that if there is thing I said, so for example, oh, you have to eat healthy, also I say don't eat too much sugar, or oh, you have to get that many hours of sleep. If your mind directly be like, no, it's okay, it's not for me, I don't need it, I will ask yourself to like take a stand back and ask yourself, do I have some type of mental protection, of mental barrier that I use to protect my feeling, or to not put myself in a position where I'll have to make some efforts and like a resistance against change. Because all I said here is very basic. It's very common sense. It's just that I hope the way I deliver it will convince people to maybe try one of them, maybe just do a bit more sport, maybe just try to eat more vegetables. But if you feel resistance in your brain, like the biggest problems in your belief system are often so impregnant, it's so deep that you don't even realize it. And often you just have mental barriers that hide it from you. And if something you just, well, no, it's okay for me, I don't have this problem. But then if you ask yourself, do I actually do this? And the answer is no, it might be a big problem for you. Then maybe not, but chances are it is. So I guess those will be my last words. Thank you for listening to me. I'll do other video, like I finished this painting on other themes. Like I guess I'll do at least a video once a week for, let's try to do 10 videos. I'll see how it goes. I don't have a lot of hope for this to make more than like 10 views, but even if 10 people look at it, I'll be very happy. So thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and bye.